Mr. Roderick Stewart there, and before him, Dr. Colin Owens, the historian. And she's coming to Newry on Thursday, not to the library, as said in the piece. She's coming on Thursday of this week to the Newry and Mourne Museum at Bagnall's Castle, and that's between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So if you have an interest in women's affairs and women in politics, women in war, women in the governance of the land, then that's the place to be and that's the place to go. Thursday, 2 o'clock, the Newry Museum at Bagnall's Castle. Patrick's with me. Patrick Ryan, how are you?
How are you?
The editor of the Newry Democrat. Glad to have you with me. Thank you very much indeed. Busy week for you?
Glad to be here. Oh, very busy, Rowan. There's a lot happening, as usual.
Yes.
Newry.
Yeah.
This week we're leading with a very tragic story of a young man from Newry, Stephen Pentony, who was in a tragic accident when he was bodyboarding in Port Russian Friday evening.
Up there for the weekend, I would think.
Yeah.
And there he is.
Very popular destination, and a very active young man. And
he got separated. He was carried out on a rip current, and it just seems to me such a waste. If he had been able to stay close to the bodyboard that he was on, it would have acted as a life raft for him and kept him right.
Possibly, yeah. It is. It's a very sad story. He's a young man in his 25.
25,
and,
yeah.
It's such a tragic
gracious
story.
Well, you weave tragedy and happiness into the front page because you have a picture on the front page that could have been there 100 years ago as well.
Yes, Rowan. It's a picture of the Hello Dolly production, which actually starts today, the 20th of May, and it runs until Friday. And we have a picture of the principal cast there, and that's running until Friday in the Newry Town Hall. So we're I'd say anybody who is free to go down and check it out, because I know we were down at it at the rehearsals, and it's fantastic. So
it's a wonderful show.
Something to strongly recommend.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know it's unusual to take you straight to the back pages, but you have the coverage of the Down game, that amazing game last week. On Sunday.
If ever there was I suppose, to paraphrase Charles Dickens with A Tale of Two Cities, this was a tale of two halves.
It was, and the tale of two managers, maybe too.
Well, yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was absolutely incredible game. Down, pardon the pun, they looked down and out at half time.
They did.
They only scored 3 points in the first half, but yet in the second half, manager James McCartan changed a few things on, brought Benny Coulter on, a few other boys, Jerome Johnson there, and they changed the game. And to be honest, walked away disappointed that they hadn't won, which is what happened. How many teams can say that against Tyrone?
Yeah, absolutely. But James is talking very optimistically about Saturday coming. A big game like this in Newry, it puts big pressure on the editor of a newspaper. Yes, you need to get it right.
Oh well, yes, but at the same time, it's a nice pressure to have.
Of course.
I know Steve Malone now, he's our sports editor, and him and all the sports team, they'll be down in force on Saturday, and they'll be giving it full coverage.
And good photography as always.
Oh, absolutely. But it's one of those things. It's a pleasure to cover your county.
It is,
to be honest, and especially when they're doing well. And it would be lovely to see Down win, not just because we're from Down, but because it would be great just to get that feel-good factor back. Let's face it, these aren't easy times for a lot of people. So anything
cheer them up.
To cheer people up is very welcome.
Well, I take you, if I may, hope you'll allow me, to my column. If I may.
Absolutely.
A total love story I discovered in the column this week. It's a letter written in the 1800s, the late 1800s, by a man to a woman, pleading. And they were found under a floorboard in Lower Catherine Street, commonly known as the Dead Pad. I have asked people in Newry, do you know where the Dead Pad is? Didn't know it. Hadn't a clue where the Dead Pad was.
Hadn't heard of it myself.
No, but you would have heard of Lindsay Hill.
Oh yes.
But the Dead Pad, it was always known as the Dead Pad. But a lovely lady found the letter and 2 tickets for concerts in Newry Town Hall and Newry in Warrenpoint Town Hall. Found it under floorboards. It was a letter, a totally antique letter. And the other thing that's antique and is becoming antique is the column, because it's at 12 years there now. Can you believe that?
It's a fine vintage at this stage.
It is a fine vintage indeed, and I hope it continues. It's good fun. It's good.
Absolutely,
It's good to do it, and you're very supportive of me in that role.
Well, it's
So-
an asset to the newspaper. Anyway,
Well, thank you very much, Paddy. I appreciate that. I suppose when a fellow has been 50 years on the go, and the sponge of 50 years, taking it all on board, then you squeeze it out and you get something, and that has to be the way. Where else would you like to take me in the paper then?
Well, there's another story, I suppose, on page 3, which is, I suppose, not really wanting to give a shout out to another newspaper, but the Sunday Times printed their annual rich list at the weekend. We had a couple of the local entrepreneurs on it. Obviously, the list in the north was topped by
Dr. Hockey,
Dr.
the
Hockey,
late,
well, the Hockey,
the late,
the Hockey
the late
family now.
Dr. Hockey.
Yeah, obviously tragic circumstances surrounding his sad demise earlier this year, but it shows that their wealth rose by over £500 million.
Wow, that was some years'
in
work.
the last 12 months. So it's worth the family are worth 1.4 billion.
Yes.
Which is, you know, and this is a guy who's locally born and lived locally, and he's invested locally, and it just shows you, that it's there. And
He started in the, well, as he said himself once, with a briefcase and a price list, out knocking on doors. So it's there for everyone, as you say.
Absolutely, and we have another couple of entrepreneurs on the list as well. Gerard O'Hare, of course, he's described here as a property tycoon and Keys owner. But
At the Keys.
yeah, but he goes way beyond that. What he's done for the area, it's
Well,
phenomenal.
Gerard O'Hare is a phenomenal human being. We've gone beyond Ireland. He has helped me consistently in Africa in the building of schools there. When you needed help, you always knew you could turn to Gerard O'Hare, and it's a wonderful thing to see. He continues to do well in spite of all the adverse pressures of the economy, and again, Brian Conlon's the same in First Derivatives.
Yeah, it's these are for a lot of people this money is pie in the sky, but these guys are showing you that it's not. That if you have the talent and the drive, you can do it. And it's great to see local success stories. And of course, Martin Naughton from Glen Dimpex is also
started
on the
in
list.
Newry.
Yeah,
Just Glen. I think we all maybe had a Glen heater, Glen Dimplex heater, and the Dimplex was the little indentations in it, filled with oil, and the electrical current heated up the oil. God, we grew up on those. I did anyway.
Oh
I
no,
tell you.
I've seen them myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't pretend otherwise. Yeah.
Now, where else will you take me, please?
Well, we have a 2-page special this week on the Blues in the Bay Festival, which starts on Thursday. It's always a phenomenally popular event. It has a great blend of international talent, local talent, and it always gets the crowds out. And hoping this year's event will be no different. And with it being headlined by no less than Van Morrison, then there's every reason for it to be a success.
And Van is giving his fee. All the money coming from the thing is going in the Warren Point Town Hall to the hospice.
That's amazing.
Which is an amazing generosity from Van the man.
Yeah.
Van, you are the man, I tell you. Well done.
Yes. And then another story we have, Rowan, it's a very difficult story, very sad, hard read, but it's Natasha McShane, a young lady from Silverbridge who was, I suppose there's no way to beat about the bush, but she was brutally assaulted, and
She was.
her life was changed irreversibly. She suffered severe, I suppose, brain trauma, and
The attack in America.
yeah. Well, her friend, who was a young lady called Stacey Jurich, she has come out now and spoken about her remorse over not being able to do more to help Natasha, which is very sad, because these are two young ladies who were walking home, and for such a vile act, the invasion and to assault someone like that just for a few dollars, it kind of breaks your heart to think about,
man's inhumanity to man. Goodness gracious.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
awful,
But
awful.
it is a hard read, but it's an interview, I suppose, that it's there for people to
And
read,
it opens a window on into the life of a lady who experienced the event with dear Natasha,
Yeah.
and it shows the humanity of her wishing to have done more. That's
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Where are you heading now?
Then we have, well, just to go back to sport, Rowan, we have another event, a massive event happening locally this weekend, which is the Newry City Marathon.
Wow. It's coming this weekend.
Oh, this weekend, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
For the I suppose the bank holiday
You
weekend.
might. My observation is that you might have trouble getting journalists to cover it because Tony maybe is away. Tony Bagnall will be running. Maybe Noel Moan might be
Yes.
running. Blah blah. And who else in your office would do it? There's someone else I can't remember. But there you are. They're very involved. Your lads are very involved. in
Oh,
it.
they are, yeah. They're very.
Love it.
It's
Yeah.
very, we'll have to keep them fit now, you know, chasing after stories.
Yeah.
To encourage that.
Lean and mean.
Yeah, but we're going to have on Sunday's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get the weather for it too.
Absolutely. You'll go for a double page spread, will you? On it?
Oh, at least.
At least, yeah.
4, maybe 6 pages.
Yeah.
I'll have to see what else is happening come Friday afternoon. But no, it's a great event, and again, it's something really positive, something that people can get behind, and hopefully not only will the streets and the roads be decked out with runners, but there'll also be, people in the crowd watching and
the whole
cheering them on.
atmosphere builds,
Yeah,
doesn't
that's what you want, Ron. At the end of the day, it's
it gives sense of community pride.
Definitely.
I think that's what it is,
Definitely.
and without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. And now, where else are we going? Anything more there?
Well, so to go back and forth.
That's all right too.
With news, we have coverage of the Rathore formals.
What a lovely event!
Yeah.
Rathore, that wonderful school on the Rathryland Road. Beautiful event of young people, very special young people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there they are on their big night out, princes and princesses for the evening.
I see a young lady in it now, Alice Smith, it's called. She was with us in Work Experience earlier in the year for 12 weeks, and she is she's an absolutely phenomenally talented young lady. She a great eye for photography, very keen, very polite, and an absolute credit. And if she's the standard of people that's coming through Rathore School, and they can hold their heads high.
Oh,
indeed, they're doing great things there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, Paddy, thank you very, very much indeed for coming in this week again. You'll join me next week, yeah?
Oh, try stopping me.
Thanks, Paddy. God
Okay,
bless
Rowan,
you. You're a
thank you
good
very
man.
much.
We'll play you some music now.
Sure.
You're with us.